by making Cavill this guy again. Hello and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host, the Nerd Man, and today we're talking about a potential, really potential, possibly fake Flash. It's basically an apparently the script for Flash had leaked, and somebody wrote like their basic notes on what would happen, what's going to be happening in the Flash movie. So I'm going to be reacting to this. I mean, I'll tell you what I think. I'll as if it is real, obviously. But I would take this with a huge grain of salt. Nothing is confirmed about this. But again, I'm going to pretend as if this is the real thing, and I imagine some of this is probably going to be quite accurate to what the film actually is. Now, I haven't read or looked at any of it, but I'm saying that I think that it might be accurate to what the film is, just from common sense, right? What common sense is telling you about what this film looks like it's going to be. So I imagine a lot of that is going on in this. I also wanted to thank Darkseid's daughter, who sent me a link to the notes for this for this script. So thanks a lot, mate. That's one of my subscribers is really helpful with all of this stuff for me, because I couldn't find it myself. All right, so let's go. So this is it. It's not very long. So Barry and Bruce, Ben, are trying to get Henry out of prison, and Bruce indirectly pushes Barry to go back in time to save his mum. Flashpoint. That's the plot. Which is a kind of Flashpoint plot, right? It's usually like Batman accidentally kind of gives him some incentive to actually go ahead and, go and try and save his mum in the past, which creates the kind of Flashpoint paradox universe. So that isn't a big surprise. I mean, obviously we don't want him trying to help him save his mother, but if it's just like Batman accidentally, does that, then that would be absolutely fine. So Ben is Bruce the entire film, doesn't suit up at all, and is mainly present in the first act. Now, look, if this is the case, and I don't believe this is going to be the case, that's complete bullshit. If Ben doesn't suit up in this movie, it's going to bomb. I mean, it would have to be so fucking good if Ben doesn't suit up in this movie. I swear, the critics will be like this. The critics will be like this to this movie if Ben doesn't suit up.
At this time.
Hey, listen, it's some kind of mistake. I didn't sign up for a cage match. Take the chain off.
Hey, Freak Show, you're going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Right. That's how the critics are going to be. They're going to be like Macho Man Randy Savage it was to fucking Spider-Man. They're going to have this film for 3 minutes of playtime and just absolutely, completely destroy everything about this movie if Ben Affleck does not suit up. What would be the point of putting Ben Affleck, saying goodbye to Ben Affleck's Batman, if he doesn't have an action sequence, if he doesn't have some kind of interaction with Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne? You have to have that in the movie for it to work. This movie is crazy because it's really an exciting project, right? You've got Michael Keaton coming back. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I would have rather they go the Thomas Wayne route. and saved Michael Keaton for, you know, a future Flash project or, you know, something else. But I would have rather them do the Thomas Wayne storyline from the Flashpoint Paradox. And they had the perfect actor to do it in the comedian actor, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, comedian from The Watchmen, that is. I would have paid good money to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan do his thing as the Batman. Much more than Keaton coming back as old man Batman and another Bruce Wayne in a different universe. It's not the story. It's not right for this story, and I think it's a waste. It's really a waste of the Flashpoint storyline, because there's only how many times will Barry make the mistake of going back to save his mother? So you want to use that storyline in the most effective possible way. And as I said, you know, you cannot just have. I mean, they've got another thing coming if they think that they could just have Bruce Wayne, you know, come into this story as Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, the Snyder Bruce Wayne, who everyone thinks, you know, who's hugely popular amongst the Snyder fans, and they think they're just going to have him in no costume. To me, this proves that this isn't real, because there is no human possible way that they will do this. It's just impossible. You'll have a Batman scene. And to be honest, I don't know how they're going to do it, but he has to meet fucking, you know, Michael Keaton. You cannot have it where he doesn't meet Michael Keaton either. I think that will be a huge mistake. Since they're going off script and doing a different storyline, you have to go 150% with this baby, because, you know, you're talking about one of the most beloved storylines in all of DC Comics, and you're going off script with it. You have the perfect script to go from A to B to make one of the most epic action movies of all time, and you're changing it on purpose. So you guys better do a fucking good job. And you know, you want to bring Michael Keaton back, then you better bring Michael Keaton back. So guys, do remember, do me a favor, give me a high five, smash that like button if you're loving the content, if you're loving the rant, and I will come to the comments very soon. So stick around for me to address any comments in the comment section. So let's read a little bit more of this blasphemy. All right. So Ben is so main villains of the film will be some of the rogues gallery from Keaton's universe, including Captain Cold. So first of all, Captain Cold isn't one of the rogues of Keaton's universe. So again, this is complete trash. I don't know what this person is talking about. And again, you know, I'm very concerned about this. If they start putting Batman villains in a Flash movie, I'm going to lose my fucking shit. This should be a Flash solo movie introducing Flash to the universe. And if Keaton's villains overshine the Flash villains, I'm going to be very annoyed. You need a reverse Flash. I'd like a Mirror Master in there or a Captain Cold in there as well. You need to show off Flash's universe. You need to show off Central City. You need to show off those things. But again, this is even trash for even somebody who's trying to write notes. The only thing that makes me think this could be real is that Hollywood people are so stupid that they don't even know anything about the comic book movies that they're actually in charge of. They know nothing about these comic universes. All they have to do is sit down and watch some DC cartoons just for research. And they are the kind of people who probably would think Captain Cold is a fucking is a Michael Keaton Batman villain. So in that sense, maybe it is kind of maybe it does seem a little bit real. I mean, what the fuck, Captain Cold? Captain Cold. I mean, is a fucking Keaton villain? I mean, this guy must be. Dude's insane. He's lost his mind, bro. All right, so let's see. Next thing, Reverse Flash isn't in the movie at all. He's teased very briefly once. Wow, that would be a very bad idea. And there's such good actors right now, right at the moment, hot actors who can play the Reverse Flash. I think it's got to be Mirror Master or Reverse Flash in this movie. You just have to have one of those two, because they're the only ones for me of Flash's rogues gallery who can actually present a challenge to Flash. And someone like Mirror Master would work well in when you're doing these multiple universe kind of things. So it's got to be Mirror Master or Reverse Flash. Again, since they're not doing the actual Flashpoint movie, it's kind of like, maybe you could save Reverse Flash for the second movie, but really, again, you need to stick to this storyline. It's hard. It's really hard to because it's like the thing about this film that I'm kind of getting a vibe of is it's like they're giving us member berries. It's like, remember Keaton? Remember how you like Keaton? Keaton was a great Batman. This is, again, DC's problem. I'm going to put it down to this. DC never waits to see what something is, right? What they always do is they preemptively leap into things, right? So I'll explain what I mean by this. Rather than wait to see how Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman did before launching into the Justice League, so that you know how audiences are receiving each of the characters, so that you can treat them appropriately in the Justice League, Warner Brothers just went, we'll do Batman v Superman straight into Justice League. And it fucked them up, because it meant, for instance, they treated Wonder Woman badly in the film. And you shouldn't have treated Wonder Woman badly in the film. She should have been up there as one of the leaders with Batman, right? It meant, and it meant, again, you don't know about like how Aquaman does, right? Like, so Aquaman makes $1 billion. Maybe you want Aquaman in this movie a little bit more than you do. So that's the whole thing of like waiting, having patience, building up a universe so you know the state of play when you do these big team movies. And that's what Marvel did, and they knew, because again, Marvel could have done it like, forced Hulk into the leadership role of the Avengers, because Hulk was the most bankable superhero at the time, because in the Marvel universe, because he's the only one who had films and other media about them. But they waited, and then they found out, oh shit, Iron Man's really the big star here. Let's make the Avengers around him, right? So again, that's the kind of thing that they do. And now you see that Flash has become really, really, went from a lukewarm reception in the Justice League to a quite good reception after the Zack Snyder's Justice League. People like the OP Flash, the time-traveling Flash, and they like what they saw there. So now, you're in a situation where actually a Flash solo movie might have made $1 billion, and you could have built up a Flashpoint storyline much, much more organically than you're doing now. And you wouldn't have to feel the need to stuff people like Keaton into a Flashpoint, a Flash movie, because you're unsure how people will receive the Flash. You would have known after Zack Snyder's Justice League, hey, this Flash guy, people like him. This is a Flash that people can get on board with. Let's make a Flash solo movie, build up to a 2-part epic. It could be, the Flashpoint could have been like, an event movie like Justice League or Civil War. Sorry, like Avengers or Civil War, right? They could have actually used that Flash storyline, but built it up organically, get people anticipating it, get people talking about it. But now it's too late for that. So Reverse Flash isn't in it at all. Barry will break everything off camera and will travel to multiple universes, including Brandon Routh's Superman and Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. I don't believe that for a fucking second. No CW cameos. Apparently didn't work out, but could change. They have to have the CW Flash cameo. That's crazy if they don't do that. After the one that they had on the CW, that was the best scene ever in any CW show. Was the two Flashes meeting each other? So I don't know what they're doing. Supergirl's role isn't large. She's from Keaton's universe as their version of Superman. Instead of being Clark's cousin, she's the Earth's Superman. Trash, bro. Absolute trash. You know, I mean, I don't know what these guys are trying to do. I mean,
you're crazy. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
This is Warner Brothers, man. They're fucking crazy. They're nuts the way they're doing this. They're trying to set up Supergirl to be the new universe's Superman, and because it's not just going to be in the Flashpoint. Don't get it twisted. They're trying to set this chick up to be the Superman of the Prime universe as some kind of feminist agenda. So we're going to have an all-female Trinity, right? Is that it, or what? Jesus Christ! It had so many good female characters that they could bring out, right? And they could do a Superman movie with Supergirl and introduce Supergirl properly. You could have had a skinny Henry Cavill in this doing the Flashpoint Superman, and you're doing this instead. Trash, bro. Absolute trash. Agenda politics over actual sensible filmmaking. That's what that is. Michael Keaton will have a new tech-based suit, Kingdom Come-like. That would be actually awesome. But again, Keaton is a mentor type, but we'll have action scenes, kick ass. I mean, the thing about Keaton being a mentor to Flash, I don't like that. Flash has a mentor in the Flash universe. It's the cop that basically looks after him. I can't remember his name, but like that's his mentor. That's the guy who mentors him to make him who's like his Pa Kent, if you will, or his Hippolyta, his version of that kind of character. He has that in the comics, and I want that before you get. I don't mind Keaton in the Flashpoint universe being a kind of, like showing him through the world, the new world that he's entering. But I don't want him being, the mentor to the Flash in a way. They should be on equal footing. It's the fucking Flash. And by the way, about Keaton and all of this stuff, one thing I am excited about is revisiting Burton's Gotham, a modern day CGI, with modern day tech, doing Burton's Gotham again. I think that is going to be the most kick-ass thing about this film. Batgirl will be introduced. Batgirl is going to take over the main DCU Batman role, Earth-1, writing out Ben's Batman. Again, trash, bro. Why? Who's asking for this? You haven't even got a Justice League 2 movie. You want the classic team going up against villains like Darkseid. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You need to they need to reboot. If this is anyway, Barry will return to Earth-1 well, actually, by the way, I don't even know that this is true. So again, I don't know why I'm getting emotional about this, because it's probably all bullshit. Barry will return to Earth-1 main DCEU Batcave and find out Bruce Ben is dead once he restores everything, similar to the Flashpoint's comic ending in the Batcave. Interesting. So that will wipe out Ben from the universe. That actually sounds fucking true. That's weird. Keaton will continue as a mentor type figure for Batgirl as she replaces Ben's Batman as the DCU's Bat and not Keaton as rumored. Fucking hell. This does actually sound kind of real. Keaton, Batgirl, Supergirl will all be set up to return in future films. Sad and pathetic and bullshit. Who is making these decisions? All people are asking for is for you to give them the fucking Justice League. We're saying, take our money, just give us the fucking Justice League, i.e. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Aquaman. Maybe you can throw in a Shazam, and then you can do all your Batgirls. I think you should do a Vixen movie. That's the one I'm most interested in. If you're going to do side characters, you can do your Blue Beetles. You can do anything you want. You can even do your Black Superman, right? Your one-off Black Superman Elseworld. Do it on the Dark label. But why the fuck are you? But again, don't get emotional, JP. Or sorry, don't get emotional. Because again, we don't know if this is true. Sorry, even reading this stuff triggers me. I mean, it really does, even reading this. Plot is rated 7 out of 8 out of 10 by the leaker. Says it doesn't sound Flash-centric, but hopes that will change in the final product. It doesn't sound very Flash-centric, does it? But again, I don't believe a word of this. I'm sorry, it just doesn't strike me as particularly real. So I'm going to go to the comments now. And see what people have to say before I go. All right. Nerdman, yes, 3 minutes of playtime. Nerdman, that cute Hanford, did your husband give it to you? Very funny. So I'm happy with Keaton is coming back because Returns never really ended his story arc. Plus, what else? Old Man Bruce means Batman Beyond movie, which I desperately need. Yeah, but do you have to sacrifice Flash for that? Can't you just do that? Do you know what I mean? Like, you could have just done that and then had flashbacks in a Batman Beyond movie, like flashbacks to what the third movie would have been. And fuck me, man, you could have even brought what's his name, Burton, back to direct a Batman Beyond movie, dude. Like, bring back the old band, get a tight script. So because Burton has fallen off as a director recently, but in general, bring a tight script to Burton and let him do a Batman Beyond movie. I think that would be awesome. Why do you need to sacrifice Flash for that? I don't get it. It's just my opinion, man. It would have been better to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Flashpoint Thomas Wayne too. Facts, bro. Warner Brothers ruined Death of Superman arc. Yep, as well. Now Warner Brothers ruined Flashpoint arc. Yeah, pretty much. It's a fucking mess. Warner Brothers is such a mess. Everything is all over the place. Flashpoint is a sequel that needs to be built up. We should have had a solo film with one villain fleshing him out. Yep. As for Warner Brothers, like with doing this, you know what they can do?
Suck my dick now.
Hey.
Exactly. Basically, Warner Brothers is trash. And they need to, it's kind of ridiculous, like how they're fucking handling these properties. It's like, just watch the fucking animated. You don't, if you can't be bothered to read the book, even though you're paid millions of dollars to do this stuff, at least just fucking watch the animated film. Why Warner Brothers does not make with Ben Affleck Beyond? He also old Bruce Wayne. I don't want a Batman Beyond with Ben Affleck. I want Ben Affleck. I've never been the hugest fan of Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm going to be honest. I think he did as good as he can. I take nothing away from the man. It was a great performance in some ways, especially for Ben Affleck. It was great. I like the tape they had of the James Bond Batman in BVS. But my problem with it, with Ben Affleck as Batman, is just simple. Every time I see what he's doing on screen, I just think, I know another actor who could do it better. I know another actor who would be just that little bit more charismatic or that little bit more believable in this role. Ben Affleck just does not have it like that. He doesn't. I'm sorry. Even Val Kilmer, for me, would have been better in this, in the DCEU as Batman than Ben Affleck. I just don't buy him, you know, as the best choice for this character. He's not the when I see him, I don't think like with Christian Bale or Michael Keaton or you know, even Gal Gadot or Christopher Reeves. I don't think in my head this is the only person who could do this. You know, that kind of casting, which is like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Like, dude, I cannot see any other actor playing this role in this way. With Ben Affleck, I can see millions. I could just see loads of people. Look, dude, I could see Daniel Craig, the James Bond, the James Bond Daniel Craig being a better Batman than Ben Affleck. Like if he could do the American accent like spotlessly, flawlessly, I would say Daniel Craig playing that exact same Batman that Ben Affleck is playing would have been better for me. It's hard being a DC fan because of Snyder's foundations of these heroes and WB just not knowing what they're doing. Yep, absolutely. Warner Brothers wasting Sasha Cowell, Latino Supergirl. Yeah, I would have rather see a Superman, Supergirl team up against Brainiac, to be honest. But overall, I'm looking forward to this movie. We got Keaton back, and we got Andy Muschietti directing, and he's a pretty good director. I mean, dude, he did It movie, and he's the most hopeful part of this whole fucking scenario. I don't think he's going to try and phone it in. I think he's going to try and do the best work possible. But again, my only problem is that script. Will he be, think about Nolan with David Goyer. I've read the script of Batman Begins because I write screenplays. And I can tell you now, if Nolan had filmed the script the way Goyer wrote it, Batman Begins wouldn't have been half as good as it actually is. Clearly, with a good enough director who can work on those lines and know when certain dialogue doesn't work and certain things don't work, that he can actually improve the script. So a good director is there's no value you can put on that. They can make bad scripts into good movies, right? That's actually true. I mean, you have to have something there to work with, but they can make very, like dialogue. They can improve it on the day. Like, hey, how maybe we can say it in a different way and make things work and come up with different ways of changing and filming the story to make it work. So Andy Muschietti's good, but I am worried about his It Chapter 2, and that wasn't very good. According to Hollywood Reporter, we're getting a Supergirl movie in 2023. Wonder how that's going to go. I think it's going to be trash. I'm not interested in this. Well, look, I'll be interested in a Supergirl movie again with the caveat that they do the fucking Justice League properly. That's all I ask. Do the Justice League properly. You can do anything you want. DC's at a point of no return. Oh, sorry, do the Superman properly, do a Superman story properly, and then I don't mind you doing Supergirl. Have a mainstream Superman, and then you could do, I would love a Supergirl film filmed on Krypton, right? Where, Brainiac has invaded the lost city of Kandor, and you literally go from, Supergirl and like really see how, Kal-El's father Jor-El and her parents were trying to like get their last children off of this dying planet as Brainiac is invading and whatever, and like really do a film covering the like and how she got knocked off course so that she was older than Kal-El, but then got knocked off course, and because of general relativity ended up coming to Earth much later. That would be a fucking awesome movie, an awesome concept for a Supergirl movie. And then, you could do that and lead straight into, a Superman Man of Tomorrow. It's like either you can make it a prequel to a Superman Man of Tomorrow, where you introduce Supergirl in that against Brainiac, and you see how Brainiac like did the thing, and then do a prequel of just a movie set on fucking Krypton of Supergirl trying to escape Brainiac's forces, and she has no superpowers. That would be some awesome shit. 50%, I believe, such as Ruth coming back. However, Ben dying, I don't think will happen. Cool. I think Ben dying might happen because they're trying to wipe out the Snyderverse. Guys, do me a favor. Give me a high five. Smash that like button. Helps out with the algorithm. And you keep the questions coming. I'll try and go through as many as possible. Yeah. So they just need to reboot fully, start over, stop trying to copy MCU and just do their own thing. Yeah, man, like reboot is an option now because clearly they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't mind a reboot in the Patterson universe. I really don't. I think they need like a Superman who isn't like fucking as OP, to fit something like the Patterson universe. They could do an even more, just a more grounded universe in the Patterson universe. I think could actually work. Like get somebody who's a better storyteller than Zack Snyder to actually take that approach to the DC characters. And you might find that the Snyder fans really just give up and just go, oh, actually, this other universe is quite good anyway. So maybe we'll go along with that. Because I just think Snyder's only problem is he's got bad instincts as a storyteller. He really does. I mean, he's got some great idea, but like bad instincts. It's just that Martha scene where she turns into Martian Manhunter. How could he not? It would take it like it's like an idiot could see that is not. That's a terrible way to continue that scene. You've got Martha having a touching scene with Lois Lane, proving she's a great mother, and then you ruin it by making it Martian Manhunter. Awful fucking scene. And it's those instincts that let Zack Snyder down every time. And I've seen most filmmakers are not as visually arresting and do not have the kind of talent Zack Snyder has. But they know those basic story beats and things about storytelling that Zack Snyder doesn't seem to be able to comprehend. He's always about what's cool rather than what makes sense as a story. I also think Ben only be in the first act. It makes sense. He helped Barry for the first act, and Barry goes his own missions. Yeah, I agree. If Superman is in the movie, it'll be Ruth's. There's rumors for months he'll be back. Yeah. I hope you're well, man. Thanks, dude. Nice day today in England. Yeah, well, I'm in Czech Republic, and it's been a really lovely day. It's too late for a reboot. Aquaman and Wonder Woman are too important for Warner Brothers. That's why WB is trying to make Snyder Universe not canon. I think that's kind of true as well. I mean, I could go both ways. I think you could just really just do a kind of soft reboot where you bring Cavill back. You make a Wonder Woman 3, you make an Aquaman movie, you have Patterson's Batman there, and basically make Patterson's Batman universe separate alternative world universe, but then just have Patterson show up in the Justice League movies and just say, yeah, in this universe, he's Batman. Basically, it's a different universe, the one he's on, where he's doing his more grounded Batman movies with Matt Reeves, but he's also, this universe is Batman as well. Like he's just like you know, it's a multiverse, and you know, in certain multiverses, Batman's going to look exactly the same. It might confuse audiences a little bit, but you know, I think it can be explained by science mumbo jumbo. With this kind of multiverse kind of thing, and then you've got basically half your Justice League there, and just continue on from that. That's how I would do it. I mean, since there's so many Henry Cavill fans, and I think, you know, an alien invasion story with for Man of Steel 2 wouldn't have worked after 2013, but I think it's been so long now that you can actually just do a Brainiac space invasion story, add Supergirl in there, and it would be a pretty good Man of Steel 2. Wonder Woman 3, I literally would get a fantastic screenwriter to help Patty Jenkins out, and get whoever the stunt people were, whoever helped her in the first film, get them back. The VFX crew, all of those guys, get them back and get Patty back on track. She did bad, but like, if she's got a bad pitch for the next movie, another like pitch like Wonder Woman 84, get rid of her. But if she can accept doing a little bit more of a grounded Wonder Woman 3, doing a bit more of a serious version of Wonder Woman 3, where there's like stakes and it's a bit more, mature and hardcore. I don't want Wonder Woman killing necessarily. That's not what I'm saying. When I say, I just mean like a Wonder Woman more in the tone of Man of Steel or Wonder Woman 1. That's all I mean by a bit more hardcore. I don't mean like having her killing people and all of that kind of stuff. I just mean, yeah, get her back, modern day Wonder Woman 3 story, come up with a good story, good villain. She does actually have some good villains if you read Wonder Woman stories, and get her back on track. Get a screenwriter, a real fucking screenwriter, to write Wonder Woman 3, and you've got that going. So you've got Wonder Woman 3, you've got Man of Steel 2. I would do a fucking Martian Manhunter movie, but I know Warner Brothers just don't see that character as bankable for some reason. And, then you've got your Green Lantern Corps. You can roll all of that out of the Snyderverse without really having to go back to Zack Snyder, and prepare yourself for a new Justice League movie. That's just the way I see it. It's a huge risk, and WB don't have the balls, so I don't think they will kill Ben Affleck Batman. He's popular to fans. I think they're going to kill him, bro. I don't agree with that. Burton has a great visual eye. He'd be great for a Batman Beyond. I see where you're coming from. I just want a good Flash movie. Absolutely, yeah. I'm watching Superman the animated series. It's my favorite Superman after the comic. Yeah, that is a good one, man. I really like it. To be honest, I'll say this. I think Justice League, the animated series, and Justice League Unlimited are way, way better than the Superman and Batman solo animated series. I think the Batman animated series is a little bit overrated, to be honest. And I think the Superman animated series, I really, really like it. It's not my favorite Superman TV show, though. I have to say, I always liked Lois and Clark, even though Dean Cain was not a great Superman Clark Kent. But I liked it for Terry Hatcher, and I really like the new Lois and Clark one as well. I like the Fleischer cartoons of Superman as well, animated series. So those are my kind of Superman stories that I like the most. By the way, ask me any questions like this. This is cool to talk about. But how would I say? I really like. I'm trying to think how I would rank them. I'd say Justice League and Justice League Unlimited are just like fantastic. I could watch them any episode, any day. I just think the quality of the storytelling and writing just went up from the Batman animated series, in my opinion, and from the Superman animated series. I think the final season of that Superman is the best. Where like the final 5-6 episodes where like Darkseid comes in and like manipulates Superman. That for me was my favorite story arc during that. But there are some great episodes in that Superman series. I really like it. They can kill Ben's Batman. He doesn't have to stand a solo, standalone movie, and the character is too far gone for redemption. Do me a favor, give me a high five, smash that like button. Val Kilmer is honestly underrated Batman. Yeah, he is, dude. Like, he was good as fucking Batman. I don't care what anyone says. The guy was fucking good. It was George Clooney that fell off, dude. Like, I don't know why they didn't bring Val Kilmer back, to be honest. I thought he was excellent as Batman. And the movie did well. I think he may have said he didn't want to do Batman and Robin because it was too goofy. But he took that film seriously, whereas everyone else was just, Jim Carrey. People say Jim Carrey was good in that movie. No, Jim Carrey was good at being fucking Jim Carrey in that movie. That was not good as Riddler, to me. I'm not interested in that type of Riddler. But he was good. He played a Frank Gorshin type of Riddler from the 60s show. And I have a big problem with that Batman 60s show. I think that, to me, is what Man of Steel is to Superman. That 60s Batman Adam West is to Batman. That's not Batman to me. Fighting in the daylight, hardly ever mentioning that his parents were even killed. It was just light fluff. And I don't see that as Batman at all. I don't see that as the aesthetic and the tone of Batman. The best thing about that show was the villains, and the way they presented and made Batman's villains all iconic, like Joker and Riddler and Catwoman and stuff like that. That was the best thing about that early Adam West series. But Val Kilmer was the best thing. And as I said, Jim Carrey was doing this impression of Frank Gorshin, I believe it is, who played the Riddler. And I think that in that sense, he was good, but it was so overbearing and trash. It was just leagues behind the villains in Burton's movies, just leagues behind them. So, I would say that, he was okay, Jim Carrey, in the movie, and fucking Tommy Lee Jones was absolutely. I just couldn't watch him. I thought he was worse than the villains in Batman and Robin. In my opinion, he was worse than the villains. He was worse than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right. So the one good thing that made that movie, Batman Forever, watchable was definitely Val Kilmer as Batman. Definitely. Bale is amazing as Bruce Wayne. He is really amazing as Bruce Wayne. Jonah Hill should be Batman, in my opinion. Jonah Hill? Jonah Hill should be Batman?
Right. Well, I have to go now, Dwayne, because I'm due back on the planet Earth.
What are you talking about? Jonah Hill should be Batman. All right. What? Once Batterson is well established, make the new cinematic universe. That would be dope. Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash already exist in that world, confirmed by the set photos. Yeah, exactly. You could definitely do that. God, there's a lot. You guys have done a lot of questions here. So maybe don't put all of the cinematic universe weight on Matt Reeves. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what one of the big problems with Zack Snyder is they took a man who made a Superman movie that at best was divisive. I mean, there was a 50-50 split. It didn't make enough money or money that it should have. And they said, you know what? Let's put that guy in charge. Hey, Widow, how you doing? They were like, hey, let's put that guy in charge of the DCEU universe, and I find that so puzzling as a business decision. So with Matt Reeves, if his Batman is successful and they want to launch a universe in his thing, I think they should approach different directors who would be interested in doing like a Superman or a Wonder Woman story, and get them to do that. You know, don't put it all on Matt Reeves, and then, you know, slowly build up to a Justice League movie. But I'd love to see a Bat Family JL in Patterson world once he's established. Yep. Oh wow, Czech Republic. I thought you. I am British. I just live in the Czech Republic. Hey. We might actually get a Dick Grayson Robin. Then maybe after Patterson trilogy, get a Nightwing spin-off. You know what the thing with Patterson is, like, I won't be able to believe him as Batman if there's a Robin in his universe, because Patterson looks like he should be playing Robin. He looks like he should be playing Nightwing. And the only way I could believe Patterson as Batman is if there isn't. Yeah, I don't know a Nightwing would work in his universe, honestly, because he looks so much like Nightwing himself. Like, it would be weird. He's too young looking to have somebody like next to him as a sidekick, and it would be interesting to see how that would work. I don't know who they could hire to make look like a Robin to his particular Batman. I'm not saying he's going to be a bad Batman because of that. I think he can be Batman, you know, as long as there's nothing to contrast against him in terms of, you know, the Bat Family in that universe. I don't see a Nightwing next to him. I don't know how they do it. I mean, unless they hired like a 15-year-old but he practically, Robert Pattinson really does look like he could play an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 17-year-old. You know, like Robert Pattinson could actually play that person. So he's young looking as fuck. So freaking watch the hell out of Martian Manhunter film. Maybe make it a HBO Max series if WB doesn't see a film as profitable. Yeah, liked and shared. Have a great stream, Nerd Man. I'll catch the replay. Bye. No problem. Bye. Superman, the animated series, Man of Steel over Man of Steel. Yeah, definitely. I grew up on Lois and Clark. I like the show. Like Dean Clayton as Superman. I think he just was, to me, the least interesting thing. I liked all the side characters in Lois and Clark. I loved Lois as well. I thought, to me, I mean, it might be a hot take, but I think Terry Hatcher is the greatest Lois Lane ever. Period. I think she was so good as Lois Lane. His job was to play Clark Kent, and he did great. I'm trying to catch up so that I can, you know, if you're answering. Oh God, I might skip a few. Yeah, let's just do this. Danny O'Neill saved Batman. John Bryan did the same for Superman in '86. Clark Kent is the true person and not Superman. I'm not a fan of the Golden Age, Silver Age Superman. I think the '86 onwards is better. John Bryan did the same in '86. Danny O'Neill saved Batman. John Bryan did the same in '86. You know, I need to reread John Bryan's Superman, because I remember starting to read it and just not digging it. But I definitely agree with you on Danny O'Neill and Batman. Dude, those comics before, dude, like, I remember like the X-Men back in the 90s, and then you'd read stuff from the 80s, from the 60s. The quality was amazing. The quality of the storytelling. I think it's because they did monthly, and then they started getting greedy and doing weekly. I'd wait for a monthly comic, right? With a price point on it, if the quality of the comic was the standard that it used to be. If it takes you a month to, takes them because you can't just write, like when you're writing something quickly, you're going to write worse stuff. I just think they should give the writers time, and I'd even accept nowadays if they just did got people on projects to just do graphic novels of these characters, just do your take, your spin on those character on a particular character, and just do a graphic novel rather than having to continue on this weekly story, melodrama that's kind of like reading the script of the CW. This is CW shows. That's what the weekly comics feel like, or the bi-weekly comics feel like for DC and Marvel these days. They're just very, very bad. It's like only a 5-year-old could be entertained by those comics. So, you go back to the 70s, Danny O'Neill, dude, this guy was writing epic shit every fucking month. And there was epic stuff for all of the characters, and it goes through all of the different, going down the line all the way to the 90s. That X-Men stuff was epic. It was unmissable. It was like water cooler talk at secondary school. You'd get the latest X-Men comic. It's written beautifully. Here's how I would have liked it. Flash saves his mother only to disrupt the time and space continuum and finding himself in Keaton's universe. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what they're doing, isn't it? The DCU version of Superman is really just Clark Kent putting on the suit in a world like ours. I just think we should have had more moments of him, more charismatic. That side was missing, in my opinion. I agree with that. Yeah, that's the thing. It needed more Clark Kent moments. You're right. In the DCEU, I got that a little bit in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I liked him on the farm, but I'd like to see Clark in the Daily Planet doing Clark Kent shit. Snyder was way too focused on the powers and not focused on the person. Keaton mentors Terry, who is the new Batman, and they are fighting against Darkseid. So I'm going to skip a little bit to the end here. I'm going to work backwards, basically. The Triangle era of Superman comics are perfect. Best time for Superman. No, I think you're right. Terry Hatcher is the best Lois. I think so as well. So once they are done with Affleck's Batman, they can make him the future Terry's mentor. In future Terry's, I don't like Affleck as anybody's mentor. To be honest, I don't. I think, sorry, Michael Keaton just has more gravitas as a mentor figure. I don't. I think he'd be a better, way better as a mentor for I've got a hot take though. I'm not the biggest fan of Batman Beyond. I know I'm gonna get a bunch of dislikes for that, but I am just not the massive fan of Batman Beyond. All right, Erica Durant's Terry Hatcher. Dude, you're trying to trigger me now. No, I think they're both really good Lois Lane. So I can hear that argument. I can hear that argument totally. Also, Lois and Clark was crazy, LOL. She was obsessed with Clark. Oh yeah, she was just great. She just had like a moxie and a real sense of fun about her, Terry Hatcher, in a way that the others didn't. I think she perfected what Margot Robbie started. That's what Margot Kidder started, right? So Margot Kidder had a really charming Lois Lane, and I think that Terry Hatcher looked at that and really perfected everything that she did, but she just did it that little bit more. So that's why I like Terry Hatcher so much. What did you just say? Answer me. Did I hear you right? Yeah, look, Batman Beyond is not my jam, dude. I don't like I'd love to see a film of it. I'd love the film to change my mind, but I'm just as an animated series, it never really did so much for me, and I wish. All right, I'll tell you what, guys. Recommend me the best episode of Batman Beyond that you think will get me into it, because I've watched the first few episodes and I was just like, it's all right. I didn't feel the need to like keep on watching. So recommend me your favorite episodes of Batman Beyond, and I will watch it, and I'll even do a stream on it. You don't like Batman Beyond, dislike, unsubscribe, LOL joke. But damn, I love Batman Beyond. I thought Patterson would be a perfect. Yeah, he would have been a perfect Terry McGinnis, and that's why I'm saying if I'm gonna buy if I'm going to buy Patterson as actual Batman, I don't think he can have any Robins in his universe. Because immediately, if he has a Robin in his universe, unless the guy looks super young, like 15 or like 14, which again is going to be weird for a movie Batman to be doing that with a young boy. Unless he's like that, then I'm just going to be thinking, if it's an adult guy, like a guy who's like 18 or something, I'm just going to be thinking it's Robin and Robin. It's not Batman and Robin, it's Robin and Robin. He does not, he looks too much like a young Batman himself to be having like Robins. Bitsy is a really good as Lois Lane too. She's in my top 3. Yeah, she's really fantastic. The new Lois and Clark actress. I've only watched Batman Beyond EP when Clark meets Bruce. I don't know what do you mean Batman. I've only watched episode where Clark meets Bruce. I think I watched that one as well. I might be wrong. Elizabeth Tulloch is great. Really surprised by her Lois. Same with Tyler as Superman and Clark. Remember how many goddamn times the CW Supergirl would shit on Superman, making him Cuckman? Yeah, dude. I did not like that. You're right. Because the first time I saw Tyler Hoechlin, I was like, this dude is sick as Superman. Like, I really liked it. I really dug his Superman. But within a few episodes, when I saw how his interaction with Lois, I was like, fuck this guy, bro. This guy is whack. And then he did his own show. And now I'm like, yeah, I can see what I saw in him in the beginning. And to be quite honest, I don't. Again, this is another hot take. These are some you're going to get some really hot takes. I don't like this whole Superman family business. I really don't. It's interesting, and I suppose it's a different take, and I'm glad that people who do like Superman as dad and with his children are getting that. But honestly, when I see this Tyler Hoechlin guy as Superman, I'm like, I really want to see him, and Lois first meeting up and like what she was like before she got together with him and their banter and all of that stuff about him, and he's really good at what he's doing, and I'm enjoying Lois and Clark a lot, considering I'm not like the biggest Superman as dad fan. I like Superman in his prime. Like, you don't need to do the origin story again. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying like that maybe they've been working with each other for a year or something. They're on the cusp of about to start a relationship or their romance. And he's still just questioning whether he's going to tell her he's Superman or not. I'd like to see that show with Tyler Hoechlin, because he's so good at the duality between Clark and Superman that I want to see him play that duality, like where he is trying to hide from Lois that he's Superman. I would like to see Tyler Hoechlin really do that. I absolutely hated the CW for that. Complete disrespect to Superman, totally. Hated the CW for that. Yeah. Best Beyond episodes: Gollum, Meltdown, Heroes, Shrek, Egg Baby, Out of the Past, The Call Part 1 and 2. I'm gonna watch that, and I'll dude, do you want, if you want to jump on a stream with me about that, after I watch them, I'll do a stream with you about it. He lost to Supergirl by one punch. Every time he's on screen, he's like, "You're so much better than me, Supergirl. You're the champion of Earth," and all that bullshit. Yeah, that's some woke fucking. See, this is the thing. Again, it's agenda over story. It's like, I'm trying to make a feminist empowered hero, rather than just writing a female heroine and letting it naturally go where it goes. You know, I write stories sometimes. I'm not that great, you know. I wish I had more of a, you know, like I just get in, like, every once in a while I just get like an idea come to me and I just have to write it down, and usually it's quite good or okay. But you know, I'm not like somebody who could just write all the time. I wish I could. I mean, I wish I was like talented like that. Like I could just be a writer who just writes all the time. Or maybe I just need to write every day and get into the practice of it. But usually it's like an idea just comes into my head. But again, when I do that, often my own opinions about the world come through, my own politics in the world about the world come through, but I never make a character a mouthpiece for my own, you know, political beliefs or my own, you know, social or you know, beliefs. I just let the story naturally flow and the characters naturally flow, and hope that creates a kind of interesting story. And then, you know, naturally my attitude and my opinions of the world will just come out in the story itself. You don't have to force it in there and make sure everyone gets it. You know, people will get it. People are smart enough to understand these things, and I think that's the problem. You know, and what deep message is it saying? Girls are strong, girls are powerful. You know, it's like, it's not that deep a message, right? Like, it's like, dude, yeah, we know girls are cool, girls are awesome, women are fucking awesome. We know that. We don't need to be told by a TV show that women are fucking awesome. Women are fucking awesome. We know it. Right. I didn't like Tyler's suit in the CW Arrowverse. Thought he didn't look like Superman. Then gave his show a chance. Now I love him as Superman. He's my third favorite Superman. 2, Henry Cavill. 1, Christopher Reeves. I'd go Henry Cavill's. You know, I saw in the Justice League movie, that Snyderverse Justice League movie, I finally saw what Snyder was really going for, and what I saw an image of how he could make Superman really cool. Or not Snyder himself, but like how Cavill Superman could be really, really a good Superman. In that, like, just on that farm scene and on the thing. But the problem with Cavill is he really hasn't played Clark Kent in the Daily Planet that well, so I don't know that I can put him that high. You know, we haven't seen that really in live action properly done, apart from Brandon Routh and Christopher Reeves. So I might have to put even Brandon Routh higher than Cavill when I really think about it. If you like Superman Smashes the Klan, you've got a special surprise coming, and love that comic, by the way. Yeah, it's a good comic, actually. Sure, I'd be open to a stream if I got time. Yeah, no problems. No pressure about that. I hate England. It always rains. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go through the last of the comments now, because I want to keep this out an hour. I really want Tyler Hoechlin one day. I really want to meet Tyler Hoechlin one day. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm not really like that up for it. If I could meet any Superman, I'd want to meet Christopher Reeves, but unfortunately, it's a bit too late for that. LOL, same. I'm here. He's a nice guy. I found some of your vids on Man of Steel. Damn, you were here since the start. LOL, like 7 years ago. Yeah, yeah. I did a review on Man of Steel. Do you know what, Vishal? I was in. If you saw my review on Man of Steel, my initial review. If you can't find that, I'll send you a link. If you add me on Twitter, guys, by the way, there's my Twitter handle with enough prep time with enough prep time one. So add me on Twitter. And my, you know, I'm open like to messages as well, so you can send me any messages. But my first reaction to Man of Steel was just a state of shock. I went into full fanboy mode and I tried to defend the movie. I still was honest and I said the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I went into full fanboy defense, like, oh, you know, trying to convince myself that I liked the movie. And then eventually I was like, I just really have more problems with this movie than I like it. So there was great things about it, as I've said in past, but like I've just got so many more problems with that movie than I don't. Yeah, Snyder wanted to build up Superman throughout his 5 films. By the end, he would have been Supes at the end. That's bullshit. I just don't. I've never got that approach. I don't care. Like, what you do is you build Superman in the first movie, then you want to break your character down in the second movie, and then rise them up in the third movie. That's good storytelling. You know, if you look at the Dark Knight trilogy, for instance, Batman isn't really Batman until, like, you know, halfway through the movie. And that's another thing, you know, about you know, Zack Snyder, for all this talk of mythologizing these characters. How is it that Patty Jenkins and what's his name, Christopher Nolan, knew that the first time you see the hero in the hero suit should be an epic moment of them saving someone or doing something amazing, right? The same with Richard Donner. He knew that. You obscure the suit until the person does something amazing. And that's what Patty did with the No Man's Land scene. So, I don't know. What was the thing you said again? What prompted that? About him becoming Superman over 5 things? Look, I haven't got time for that. Like, you know, you've got to make the guy Superman in the first movie and get people confident that you can do the job before you start fucking experimenting. That's useful advice in life in general. When somebody asks you to build their first house, don't try and do, some strange Dali experimental house for them at first. Make them a solid, good, fucking great house that they can live in and their children can grow up in, and that everyone will be happy. Then once you've got like enough confidence, enough people are confident in you building those fucking houses, then you can do your experimental shit. Don't start with the experimental shit first. It was a journey. Would have loved to see that complete. I think that it was a bad idea from the beginning. It was an ill-conceived idea. I think every filmmaker just don't know how to write Superman. Donner did okay with Superman, but the movie really had the benefit of Chris Reeves. Reeves is charming and made an okay story good. Look, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of nostalgia goggles when it comes to the Superman 1 movie, but there are also fucking epic moments of proper mythologizing. For me, I'll tell the truth. My favorite part of the Superman 1 movie, because I like Superman 2 a lot better, but my favorite part is the first 20 minutes or something when they're taking Superman seriously, right? With the speech from his dad, with the dad's heart attack, with the you'll be a good person, Kal-El, or that they're good people, Kal-El. At least they wish to be. That whole speech, all of that stuff is my favorite stuff, and I almost wish the film had have just continued like that, rather than change lanes and then go into this kind of like more goofy mode later. But again, you're right. Chris Reeves sold that so well. And I think if you listen to the dialogue, the banter is very, very witty. I mean, if you're going to do that cheesy kind of schlock, you better make the banter kind of like really fast and snappy, and some of that dialogue and banter between Lois and Clark is really, really kind of smart dialogue. So I think the movie script is actually pretty good, and Donna does a beautiful job filming the film. I mean, it's got great cinematography, great score, so there's good things about Superman 1, but yeah, it can get a bit much for a modern audience. I just hope Cavill's Clark isn't clumsy. People think all Superman should act like that. I like the clumsy Clark. I like a bit of... I think if you go and watch All-Star Superman, if you read or watch that, I like that Clark Kent. Like, I think you can do a modern interpretation where you don't go overboard with it, where he's just like, Charlie Chaplin or something, doing stupid, physical comedy. But I think he could just be a little bit clumsy. I'm clumsy, real people are clumsy. I do clumsy shit all the time. So I don't think Clark has to be played up as, like some big, massive thing. He could just be a little bit clumsy. That's all. If I could meet anyone, it would be RDJ, Chris Evans, or Ben Affleck. Hugh Jackman too. I don't have Twitter. That's fine. You're a sensible man if you don't have Twitter. My ranking: Reeves and Daly, Tyler, Dean, and Ruth. Yeah, good ranking. Yeah, that 5-movie arc is bullshit. His Superman began as a deconstructionist version, then dying, then being a sort of good, then evil, then good. He's giving the audience whiplash from the beginning. Yeah, that's true. I don't get how Zach wanted to build up towards the classic Superman. Like, can't you just make him classic and develop him after that? Yeah, exactly. I think Richard Donner Superman 2 is better than Richard Donner's 1. I agree with you. But you needed to lay the foundation with Superman 1, much like Batman Begins to The Dark Knight. I saw the Donner cut of Superman 2. I don't know, just thought the theatrical was better. Donner had a lot of good things, but there wasn't the finished CGI. Not everything worked. I just like the theatrical more. I think you're right on that, actually. I think there's scenes from both that are good. I know this, that there's one where Superman's father, whatever the one is, where when he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, his father gives him his powers, but that means that his father has to sacrifice himself, so he no longer has Jor-El. I like that better. That was better than whatever was done in the other one. I also like the one where Lois shoots Clark, and he does that, that's how she finds out that he's Clark Kent, and then you find out she did it with blanks. I like that. And I don't know if that's two different versions, because I've got mixed up with the Superman 2 movies now. So I'm not like, I've watched them quite a bit, but I never really pay mind to which one I'm watching and which version it is, to be honest. But I think, yeah, I remember watching the Richard Donner one specifically and thinking, some of this is a little bit clunky, but I didn't ever compare it to the other one. I don't know, need Cavill back to finish his arc. He will be the Superman with the most character development after Smallville. But Don never really truly finished Superman 2, so I get it. Yeah, my problem with Superman movies, they don't know how to properly balance goofy and serious. Donner films, as silly as they are, sort of balance that. Every filmmaker just doesn't want to do that. Yeah, I mean, I think there's got to be a little, not, I mean, even Lois Lane as a character is humorous. And that's why I kind of liked elements of Zack Snyder's Lois Lane in um, the Batman v Superman. I actually think she improved as Lois Lane in Batman v Superman because I liked when she did those snarky retorts to the very quickly killed Jimmy Olsen. You know, in the beginning in the desert, she's saying stuff like, what does she say? She says, fuck, I'm trying to remember. Like, the other cameraman I have doesn't talk. I like that cameraman. Like she says, like, like to Jimmy Olsen, basically, like, shut up. It was her way of saying shut up. And it was like that. Yeah, I like those different takes where Lois Lane in a goofy cartoon show can be a little bit more snarky and snappy, but like have realistic takes because people are witty and make funny jokes in real life. So if you want a realistic take on Superman, then Lois should be a funny character, but just funny in a little bit more of a toned down way. It doesn't have to be exaggerated humor like in the Donner version, where she's kicking a gun out of a mugger's hands, like that kind of exaggerated version of Lois. You just have a toned down version of Lois where you can have her have that kind of humor. I think it's fine, like in a more serious version. And you're right, it's about balancing. It's a balancing act with Superman. One thing that really always strikes me as strange, go back and watch Batman Begins, right? Watch that film. That film has a lot of fucking humor in it. It has a lot of light-hearted moments, a lot of little witty jokes, a lot of stuff. It's just not over the top like the Burton stuff, right? It's just a toned down, but it has fun with this guy being Batman. It's not all dark and dreary. And that's why I always hated when people described Nolan's approach to Batman as dark and gritty and realistic. Because I think that ruined what he was actually doing. Because in the beginning, what I felt he was doing was just adding psychological realism to Bruce Wayne, making him more three-dimensional than what we've seen before. But I don't think the world itself was entirely that much more, it was realistic. It was a little bit more of a plausible world than, say, Burton's world. I mean, the architecture looked more like it could exist in the real world, but it still had a sense of being comic booky, and it still had the ability to have fun with itself. So I really would say, in terms of that, I think Zack Snyder took all the wrong ideas from Nolan. He took the realism and the grittiness and the darkness, but he didn't take any of the psychological realism. Like, let's flesh Clark Kent out. Like, what would Clark Kent actually look like in the real world? So if there was a guy who was ultimately noble and incorruptible and all of those things, what would his psychology be like? What would he be like existing in the real world? I don't think he actually did that. I think he invented his own character and gave him Superman's powers. That's how I see it with Man of Steel. Last question. That was Donner's Superman 2. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for all of the engagement. I was planning on this being half an hour, but since you guys were, talking and you wanted to chat to me, I decided, I'll stay on for a while with you guys. But I'm going to leave it there. Thanks again. This was a great stream because of you. Always, your comments and your engagement always make this more fun for me. So I'm now going to watch Star Wars. I'm watching, thanks, man. I'm watching Gray's stream. I'm watching Star Wars for the first time. right now. So I'm going to be back later with my impressions of the first ever Star Wars from 1977. And I'm going to be doing because basically, everyone's always so angry about Star Wars, and I wanted to find out why everyone's so angry about Star Wars. So this is going to be my discovery of, and I've already found out some really interesting things about Star Wars that I didn't know. So I'm going to be happy to share that stream with you. Yeah, dude, you're watching Star Wars for the first time. I was amazed you haven't watched it. I did watch it when I was about 5, 6, 7 years old or something like that, but I remember nothing about it, honestly. I remembered everything about Superman and superheroes, but I don't know. Star Wars was just the thing I watched on Easter with the family. But when you're 7, I kind of thought it was cool, but I never really went back to it. I was more of a Goonies guy. I like high school kind of coming of age stories, films like that, and I loved superheroes when I was a kid. So Star Wars wasn't. I actually was more into Star Trek when I was like 7 and 8. Like I'd watch the Star Trek series on BBC Two. With Captain Kirk. I love Captain Kirk and Spock. So I was more into that when I was a kid. And then, I'm going to build up to the Empire. So I'll do that. I'll do my first reaction to the 1977 one, what I think about it. And then I'm definitely moving on to Empire. So it's going to be interesting. So far, I've been enjoying it. So I've started it already and I've been enjoying it. So follow me for that. Have you watched Wolf of Wall Street? Oh, yeah, man. Great movie. I love all of Scorsese's movies. All right, last one. I like The Last Jedi. Enjoy Star Wars. Can't wait for your thoughts. Man, thanks so much. Guys, you know the deal. Comment, subscribe, like. Please share. Follow me on Twitter if you have Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, you're an intelligent man and a wise person. But other than that, do comment, as I said, I love the comments, always will follow the comments. Give me a high five, smash that like button. And of course, I will see you on the flip side. Love you 3000. Peace.